Women, please stop. Watch this video. It is regarding creatine. I will be sharing 3 videos, and I apologize that it's in 3 parts, but there's just so much information to share. I can't fit it all in. I'm going to split up the 3 videos. The first is regarding creatine and research in the reproductive years. Second, we'll touch on some pregnancy info. Third will be perimenopause and menopause. Now, I understand there's a small group of the population that can't take creatine. I get it. These videos are not for you.
Why creatine supplementation might be helpful in women, particularly through different phases of the lifestyle. When we think about reproductive age and premenopause, not all women have a normal 28-day cycle. When we look at a non-hormonal contraceptive group, the beginning of the cycle is when we have menstruation. The latter is the luteal phase, where we see higher levels of estrogen. Data suggests that in the luteal phase, fatigue is also greater, potentially impacting performance, but also perception of fatigue. And so if we think about the nitty gritty effects of creatine in pure phosphocreatine turnover and ATP production, potentially better performance effects in the luteal phase when we are looking at creatine, seems to be greater inflammation and oxidative stress in that follicular phase. When we look at the implications of creatine, I would hypothesize that the best effects would potentially be seen in the luteal phase based on some of these physiological differences. The positive effects on hydration, it brings water into the cell and can be very effective to prevent dehydration. A higher hormone phase is where we see some effects on potential higher body temperature, poor temperature regulation. So one of the main reasons women don't consume creatine is this fear for weight gain. What we identified was that total body water was significantly improved or increased in the creatine group in the luteal phase. Extracellular fluid was increased, and intracellular fluid was also increased in the creatine group. The one takeaway here, hydration may be improved and thermoregulation may be improved, particularly in the luteal phase when some of that is suppressed. How does this impact body weight? You're seeing about a ½ pound increase. So this idea that creatine loading in women may cause weight gain, it actually doesn't cause total body weight gain, but it does act to potentially improve fluid shifts, may help with thermoregulation. So when we look at the data on strength performance of creatine in women, so when you look at these outcomes of upper body strength, kind of peak power strength, you're seeing a consistent improvement in strength performance for women. Here we're seeing more fatigue outcomes, looking at things like anaerobic working capacity or a threshold at which we can train above for our kind of anaerobic improvements. All of the studies on women have shown a positive effect by delaying fatigue. Then also recovery. Is there any impact on recovery from exercise based on some of those blood flow differences and vasodilation and buffering capacity that may differ between men and women? It appears that maybe there's an impact of creatine in delaying fatigue or improving fatigue in that luteal phase. If you're a woman and you're exercising, we may see better advantages of creatine supplementation for performance in the luteal phase, which is the latter half, kind of the high hormone phase. Sleep, changes in memory and cognition and depression as women age. There may be even more potential and exploration of the effect of creatine for women as they start to deal with some of these memory changes.